Rebuilding Old Trafford is not looking like the easiest option for Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos. Building a new stadium on site does, however, bring the potential for more revenues and more infrastructure around and better development opportunities. A multifunctional stadium that can have other sporting events, concerts, everything that brings in more money to the football club is more beneficial as well. Manchester United moving forward under Ineos, this is now looking like the best plan of action and what they are pushing for the most. They have promised that they will speak to the fans, but if they were given the option, they would go with a brand new stadium. This is Forever United TV. Welcome along to the video. I'm going to be talking about what this new stadium might look like and why it will sway a lot of United fans across into thinking that this is the better option. Now, last week I did a video which is up there. I'll put a tag in there for you guys, walking around Old Trafford and the infrastructure around the old stadium and where the pitfalls are for rebuilding Old Trafford and just fixing it back up to modern day standards and the complications that come with it. Go watch that one. But today we're looking at what could possibly be the new stadium, what the benefits of that new stadium are, and what it could bring to Manchester United going forward and Ineos. I mean, the bigger points in this and the bigger positives for the club are the new stadium. 5-star hotel has been reported like that's going to be built on site. The infrastructure, the fan park, more things to do for international fans travelling from overseas on match days, because at the moment there isn't much to do. You've got a stadium tour possibly, but you can't do that on a match day. You've got the Megastore, the Munich Tunnel, and that's about it. There's nothing else to do. You need to attract more clientele to Manchester United. More supporters have better opportunities to do other things around the stadium. The infrastructure around is massively important, but can also bring in a lot more money and help fund the stadium, because the other big snag point for fans is who is going to pay for the new stadium. And they've looked at government funding. Communications apparently have already been had with the Levelling Up fund from the government, communication with Manchester Council. Them conversations have been going on as well with Manchester United and Ineos. It all looks like there are ways around it. Financing it is that sticking point, like we said, because it would have to be funded and paid for by the football club. Now, the difference in this is that you are looking at a stadium which is going to be paying for itself. Effectively, all of the extra revenues coming in from that stadium are going to pay for the stadium to be built in time, and effectively would pay off most of the fees, most of the charges, and most of the financing for it in a good amount of time. I feel like this going forward is the best option for Manchester United because it's the easiest. It is the easiest. How can we convince Manchester United fans that this is the way to go forward? Because there is a massive, massive majority that still want to be, well, not so much a majority, still a massive chunk of United fans, mainly match-going fans, that still want to be at Old Trafford. They don't want to see it knocked down. They don't want to see it turn to rubble. How do you convince them fans that this is the right way to go with the new stadium? You only have to look at Spurs fans and White Hart Lane. There's not many fans complaining about not being in the old White Hart Lane now in the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and what it brings. You could build a new Stretford End. That's also being talked about. The atmosphere, the way that the stadium is constructed to build everything to be the best that it could possibly be. 90,000 is debatable. A lot of fans are saying, well, you should be building more than that. It should be at least 100,000 seater stadium. The new Stretford End, I think, would definitely be appealing. You could maybe make a stand there holding 25,000 strong of the hardcore Manchester United fans. The amphitheatre, the volumes, the noise levels within the stadium. At Spurs Stadium, you cannot hear the atmosphere outside. It's all within. It's designed that way for the acoustics to work, all building into a more daunting opposition for other teams coming to Old Trafford, if we are going to call it that. That's another problem. The naming rights to the football stadium, is that a way of financing the stadium again? Because they can be quite lucrative. You only have to look at the stadiums over in America right now. The new stadium in Los Angeles has got naming rights now for up to $650 million. The stadium was going to cost around about $3 billion. It's going to take 5 years to build, and everything else around it within that time period as well. So Manchester United, looking at this, I feel the convincer is everything is sparkly brand new. There's no infrastructure issues. There's no foundation issues. There's no trying to make right what is not fixable at Manchester United. Because in the video that I did, and the video walking around Old Trafford, we looked at the outside of Old Trafford and what it looks like and where it can be built on top of. What we didn't do was walk inside Old Trafford and see the issues that lie there. We talked about the South Stand and everything that was historical about the football club on that side of the stadium. We didn't talk about the dignitaries, the executive section, which is too small, the press box, which doesn't hold enough for big events, Champions League games. It's too small, you're cramped in, there isn't enough room. It is where the TV cameras are. Now, it looks from where the North Stand is on the other side, practically impossible to put TV gantry on that side. So what happens there? The rebuilding and the pitfalls of all of that at Old Trafford and trying to make Old Trafford good again are clear to see. And I feel like that is why Ineos are looking at the new structure, the new stadium, what it would look like. I mean, there are plenty of AI models going around on the internet right now talking about why Manchester United should be doing this. But you have to look at it and go, realistically, logistically, and profitability, a new stadium would be the best option for Manchester United moving forward. It would have to be something that is completely spectacular. They are looking to build this stadium, and the message and the name of the Wembley of the North wasn't so much a Wembley of the North as then copying Wembley. It was to take away international football and London and the South being the epicenter of where all big events are held. Ineos want to build a stadium which houses more than Wembley, which is better than Wembley, and puts the north of England back on the map. That is important. That is vital. And I think that also is where the financing and paying for the stadium ultimately come from. You could bring the NFL. You could bring boxing. You could bring the Super League back. That's what's being hosted now at Old Trafford. Concerts. There's so much more money that can be generated from a complete rebuild. And I feel like this is why Ineos are looking and probably going to push the fan base towards a completely new stadium. Guys, let me know what you think. Drop your comments in below. Go and watch the first video of us walking around Old Trafford so you can see all of the issues around the old stadium and where the new one would be built. This video, we want to talk about what the plan would be, what the stadium would look like. It would be something completely different. Well, let me know what you think. Drop your comments in below. Please give the video a like as always, and make sure you do subscribe to Forever United TV. Thanks for watching, everyone.